So you're a philosopher?
Yes, I think very deeply.
Finish him! BeatStars.com.
What an amazing introduction to an awesome event that is upcoming. My name is Pastor Emmanuel, and this is
Pastor Carla.
And we are excited to come to you in the comfort of your room, your home, or your kitchen, your car, whatever wherever you are for this particular broadcast. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This is an opportunity for you to get an understanding of what is to come here in Fuquay Arena. My wife and I, we are pastors of RC3, aka Renewed Covenant Christian Center, and we have our ears to the ground here in Fuquay Arena, and we know what's going on. And so I thank you for coming along with us on our journey as we are here to lay out a foundation so that you will understand what's happening here in our town. And so we have Alex Flowers, in which he is the father of BrainSTEMology. He will give you some information. We're going to ask him some questions so that you can get a better understanding as to what is the why of BrainSTEMology and how it is interconnected with MANiFest, Fuquay Arena. And so, Alex, would you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know who you are and what's coming up here in Fuquay Arena?
So a brief introduction about myself. I'm a Chicago native, but I've been here in North Carolina since 2011, pursuing going into pharmacy and clinical research. I wanted to impact the community by helping to diversify STEM. That's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but using hip hop as the vehicle to bring in more diversity into the field. So that's a little bit about myself. I have over 20 years of experience, both in medical affairs, clinical research, pharmacy practice, basic research and development in different areas from chemical engineering to genetics to agriculture to plant science. You name it, I've done a little bit of everything, but this is really my way of giving back through BrainSTEMology, which I created in 2015.
Okay. And so how does that tie into MANiFest, Fuquay Arena?
Sure. Well, MANiFest is all about manifesting what we want to happen.
Okay.
In 2020, after the MLK event, my wife and several other partners, as yourself from RC3, Love is a Parable, as well as the community, culture, art society of Fuquay Arena, got together with the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce, and we put on this event called Music Art Networking. That's what MANiFest stands for. And we wanted to bring our culture into this area. So it initially got started with a few nonprofits with the Fuquay Arena Chamber of Commerce to bring this 2-day event. That first day of introducing the youth and community to STEM, show them those individuals who are Black and brown who have made major impacts within STEM. And then the second day is actually our performing arts. So giving them a little taste of jazz, hip hop, gospel,
Okay.
you name it, spoken word,
Yes.
theatrical play. That's really the heart of my wife within the theatrical arts. But we show on this 2 day of why it's unique for Juneteenth that we're not only just telling the history of Juneteenth, but we also actually are sharing, we're edutaining you. So giving you education as well as entertainment.
Okay. Well, see, I was going to ask you about, your inspiration of organizing the MANiFest committee. And so I think you answered that, but I will tell you this. You mentioned your wife, Cassandra Flowers. She is a gifted and talented individual. And I'm glad that she's part of the MANiFest committee. And so I'm going to go ahead and get out the way and allow my wife to ask you a question, because we really want to know what's happening.
So, Alex, what does BrainSTEMology have planned for day one?
Sure. It's really exciting. Day one, I say it's a 3-in-1 event. So it's going to start off with a game show. It's the first hip hop and STEM game show, and it's going to blend into what's called the Grand Round Cipher. It's a little spin off of a play and also a panel discussion, but it's using the elements of hip hop through the cipher to share with you so many different individuals who've made an impact in STEM, who are here locally in North Carolina, in this area, Fuquay Arena and Holly Springs, to introduce the youth to different career paths that they can take. And then we're going to end the day with an actual STEM crawl. It's our second year doing a STEM crawl. It's a spin off of the clinical trial process. So we're sharing with the youth different workshops, and also at the same time educating them. This is how you solve problems in clinical research, by going through different phases and learning different methods that will help you on your path to solve a problem. So we have the art of science, the art of engineering, the art of mathematics, and the art of technology, and have different experts who are going to be leading those workshops that end the rest of the day that we call First in STEM.
Okay. All right. And so what I have to ask you now is, we wouldn't be able to pull all this together without some of the sponsors and partners. Can you just briefly mention who some of the sponsors are?
Sure. Some of our initial sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Appshore Realty, as well as some of our STEM immersion sponsors. We have Pulley Media, Katina Bunn Realty. We also have Zaxby's. I don't want to miss any names. We have Ting back for a second year.
Okay.
We have the Young's Group of Fuquay Arena, as well as Miss Janelle Webb and Nolan Perry, and actually our town commissioner, Bill Harris.
Okay. All right. That's an awesome amount of sponsorship for this particular 2-day event. And so, it takes a village. And so I'm glad that they're putting their resources towards something that is positive. And I think you said Katina Realty. I think her name, or the name of her company, is Legacy Partners, I believe. So
Yes,
I want to
Legacy Partners.
yeah, we get that right, because of the work that her, and not just her, but her husband does in the community as well.
And they'll be on the panel. So it's it's a double whammy people will get with Katina.
Awesome. Awesome. And so with you mentioning day number one, we're going to fast forward and transition to day number two. And Alex, it was an amazing and awesome opportunity to interview you for day one. But of course, you're on the overall planning committee, which is having planning efforts towards the entire weekend. And so thank you for your tireless, I don't want to say effortless, because there's a lot of work. I want to thank you for your tireless and work ethic and integrity that you're doing to make this a positive event for not just the youth, but the adults as well. And so we're going to transition to day number two, which we're going to interview some of the casting members for the Juneteenth dramatization called Freedom to What? Freedom to What? So that I'm excited about that. And so Daryl, if you could go ahead and play that second promo, we would appreciate it. And thank you, Alex, for your time.
No problem. Thank you, Pastor.
I've been waiting for this long,
hugging a little bit.
Since I was born. Make aside the Emancipation Proclamation and freed us all. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation and freed us all.
Wow, that was so amazing. That was an amazing promotional video. See that there's so much that went into that: graphics, the music, the creativity, the art. It was just so much that went into that, the lyrics. And so I think I recognized the voice. See, he told himself, y'all. I recognize that voice. I just met this young man here a few moments ago, but I've heard of him. And I've heard good things, and so that voice is. I'm sure your cast members, your crew, as you may say, would probably agree with me on that. And so now
I would hope so.
So now we have an opportunity now to interview the cast of Freedom for What? Well, I'm sorry, Freedom to What? I want to make sure I get that right. Yeah. Freedom to What? The Juneteenth dramatization that will be taking place at 7 p.m. Actually, I'm sorry, 5:30 p.m. And hopefully they charge some head and not my heart if I'm saying wrong. But it's going to start at 5:30 p.m. on June the 19th, which is on the day of Juneteenth, which is going to be very appropriate for the celebration. We have what we call the Jenkins family, that they will be displaying their talents on that particular day. And so I will allow them to be able to ask them some questions, and then they will be able to answer some questions to go ahead and get us an understanding as to what the Juneteenth dramatization of Freedom to What will be about. And so I want to go ahead and start with Miss Jovita Simons. If you could please introduce yourself and your role in the Freedom to What production.
Well, thank you. I am Jovita Simons, and I will be portraying Estelle Jenkins, who will be the matriarch of the Jenkins family. And she is the one that pretty much is telling the story to her granddaughter. And I think everyone will be, as Alex says, edutained. Okay. There's an educational component to what we're doing, as well as being entertained. And we have a lovely cast of characters. I love my onstage family. They're wonderful to work with, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay. All right. And so, Genesis, I'm coming down your street. I'm going to ask you the same question. Please introduce yourself and your role in the Freedom to What production.
I am Genesis Harris. I play Miss Estelle's granddaughter, Leah. And it's been exciting to be a part of this production amongst amazing actors, as well as just getting to know more about Juneteenth. I feel like from the actual script itself, I have learned more information than I had before, and I'm someone who studies this, so it's been pretty awesome to get to know more information.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And so, Oscar, I'm asking you the same question. Introduce yourself and your role in the Freedom to What production.
All right, my name is Oscar Holland. I hail from Willingboro, New Jersey. I recently moved back to Fuquay, where my father is from, about 3 years ago. Getting back into acting myself. I started in Philadelphia, but moved down here right before the pandemic, and it's like get my feet wet again. But I play Jerome Jenkins, the middle generation of
Okay.
the family. Stella's my mother, Leah is my daughter. And this play is absolutely amazing. You guys will definitely enjoy it. You will definitely be entertained. There will be some laughing, some crying. There will be some very joyous moments. We plan to edutain, as Estelle said, the community, as well as ourselves. We've been educated again about Juneteenth, with it becoming a national holiday just in 2021, and just ready to put out a good show, man, and just like get out there, hit the stage, and just get the ball rolling.
Okay.
All right. And so the next question is coming from me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and ask it so that we have a few moments to formulate your thoughts. What do you find most rewarding in your participation in the MANiFest and Juneteenth celebration? And Ms. Jovita, I'll start with you.
I think for me, what is bringing me the most joy is that this is a wonderful opportunity to teach. There are so many people that really don't know the history of Juneteenth and how important it is to all of us.
Right.
It's one thing to just say it's a national holiday and let's celebrate, but the big question is why? What is it? And I'm excited about this particular performance because it's going to fill in the gaps for a lot of people. As my cohort said, we all have learned something we didn't know. And so I'm really excited about that more than anything else. I'm glad that I could participate in something like this. I think it's monumentous.
Amen. How about you, Genesis?
That's a great and kind of a hard question because for me, it's a bit of a toss-up, between the knowledge and then getting to work with such great actors. But I'll have to go with the actors since the other was touched on, and I'm in complete agreement. But, just being with these amazing people, talented people, watching what they do, sometimes you're just like, wow, yeah, let's go, let's get it. You really like dive into your character more. It's a lot of fun on top of the education factor.
Okay.
All right. So let's go with the Eddie Levert, James Cleveland combo. Oscar, what's your thoughts on that?
They pretty much touched on everything, but I mean, it's the same for me. The education of it all. I have a daughter that's 10 years old that pretty much doesn't have a clue of what's going on. She was born in Philadelphia, and in Philadelphia, we actually celebrate Juneteenth every year.
Wow.
It's a big thing in West Philadelphia, but it's not something that I knew myself exactly why. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to seeing all the African colors and talking about slavery and how they came out and how those in Galveston didn't know for 2.5 years that they were actually free and were still just working the plots and the land, and then just to be able to say that they were free.
Yes.
But it'd be so long after the rest of the country, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. I'm glad I'm able to star in one of these things and educate my daughter in that. And also just, of course, being with the cast, which you may not know is some of the cast wrote some of the parts. Like Genesis actually wrote a part of what she's going to be doing. There are poems in here that people have written themselves. And they're so talented. They get on me all the time about being the talented one, but I'm actually in awe of all of them you know what I'm saying, and just seeing what we all bring to the table as a collective. I think it's a great moment in time.
Yeah, I think it's important when you share in what you're doing, when you share and you have input and you have that content that comes together, it makes it more meaningful. And then it also comes across, it translates better in your performance as well. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I can certainly say that I've actually seen Genesis. I've witnessed her in her creativeness, her creativity.
She's so dope.
Yeah, I believe it was at the event for the Cultural Arts Society of Fuquay Arena, where we had a Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration, and I think she did spoken word at that event, and so it was amazing. And then not only that, though, I can also speak to Miss Jovita and her. Some of the things that she was saying about our culture and how important it is for us to be able to express that and speak up, and also be a voice for those that can't speak for themselves. I've seen her out and about and witnessed her in action. And so I can't, it's very appropriate that these individuals, and Oscar, I'll get a chance to see what you can do as well. But it's very rewarding to be part of the planning committee as myself with RC3, and then knowing some of the names that are involved. It's just amazing because there's a certain authenticity about it that really makes it rewarding for me. So I want to know, and this question is for Ms. Jovita, what can we expect as an audience during the Freedom to What production?
I think you can expect, I don't believe anyone will walk out of the theater that day and not learn something.
Okay.
Not be emotionally moved, intellectually stimulated. And I think there's an opportunity for change as a result of this performance. Now, what that change will be, I cannot answer that. But I think this play, this performance, is a thought-provoking activity that if you are not moved or not stimulated, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't, because between the spoken word and just, the issues that we're discussing in this play, it should make you think. It really should make you think. I'm excited. I'm extremely nervous, but I am very excited.
Well, like I said, I've seen you in action, so you can't fool me.
And I don't know why she's nervous. She's dope in her own ways. So I don't know. I think we're gonna be good.
She really is. And so, Genesis, I'm going to ask you that same question. What can we expect as an audience during the Freedom to What production?
I've got to completely agree that there's going to be some serious change. It's very, very thought-provoking. Juneteenth is something that I've always celebrated, and I think that the perspective of kind of promoting the celebration as a unit of America in general has kind of been an eye-opener for me, because one of the most powerful things, I think, without giving away too much, is just the concept that Juneteenth is not about just Black history. It's American history. Everyone should be celebrating it.
That's right.
And it is an amazing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And so, Oscar, we're going to go ahead and pass the ball to you now, and let us know what can we expect as an audience during the Freedom to What production. And feel free to go ahead and get up and show us the stage and show us the seats that need to be filled.
I'm gonna switch a little bit to the other. Let's see if we can. All right. Let's make sure that you can hear me and everything. Tell me, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you're going to be able to walk out and be entertained. Number one, you will be educated. Number two, try not to give away too much of it as I walk down the hallway to the stage. This play is awesomely written. Shout out to Cassandra and all the co-creators. Give me a second. Let's walk out here and see. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Let's make sure we got some audio on this thing before we change my little audio right quick.
All right. Take your time, brother.
Get in here. As you can see.
Oh, we lost him.
We lost him, but we lost him. But I'm sure he'll tap back in. But what we're needing for you all to do is please feel free to go ahead and purchase your tickets. Now's an opportunity for you to be able to do it. I do believe that day one is sold out, which is a big difference from last year to this year. And so I'm grateful for all of the work and effort that went into marketing and making sure that people was available to attend day one. But then day two, we are still needing you to go out and purchase your tickets. I'm sure after listening to what these talented people had to say, you will be edutained. So to me, that means you'll be educated and entertained. So please go out and purchase your tickets. I believe, Daryl, if you could pull up one of the flyers, there is a QR code that will, if you was to go ahead and you can use the QR code, it will take you to where you need to go in order to be able to purchase your tickets. I believe the tickets are $15 for adults, and I want to say that they're $5 for the students. Daryl, go ahead and blow it up so everybody can see it, because I want them to be able to see the QR code for them to be able to use to get to where they need to get to. If you can just make it larger, I'll give you a moment, because it's very important that we fill these seats here at the Art Center. You will not be disappointed. All of these good things that these cast members, the Jenkins family, everything that they said, it's going to be all that and then some. Please go out and purchase your tickets. It is going to be an amazing event. There is good seating, good lighting. It is an actual theater. So it's not like you're going to be going somewhere where it's going to be uncomfortable. It is an actual theater at the Fuquay Arena Arts Center. Please go ahead and go on out and purchase your tickets. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. I'm sounding redundant because I'm very focused. I'm very excited, and I'm anticipating a great event, because it's not a matter of just celebrating it because of just for our people, but it is American history.
Right.
It is something that it is worth following. It is worth educating yourself about, so that when someone asks you, what is Juneteenth, what is that all about? You should be able to give them, a few sentences of something, explain to them the importance of Juneteenth and what it represents. And so I do believe that he's back. I think he's back.
Not here.
There he is. All right.
All right. So we ain't getting none of that. So we got to do that all over again. So listen, we're going to walk back out here and act like we're doing it for the first time. Right.
Good.
Here are some of the cast. We're going to try this again. They're rehearsing right now, but here's the stage and all of that. It's going to be a great time. I just need you guys to go out and get your tickets. Fuquay-arena.org. Got our cast. They getting some of the little kinks out. I've scored a little bit, so they're singing with something that I've scored or whatever. But this is where you need to be. Juneteenth.
All right.
6 o'clock. We're getting the show started. All right.
Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We're going to stay on time because Sandra, she made sure that this event or this particular broadcast will end at 7:30. So please go out and get your tickets. God bless.